Vishishtaradaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashatya Deshatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradhayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gauratvishe Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhesya Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Welcome to all the devotees to our weekly Bhagavatam study. So, in the previous week, last week, we just started the last chapter of 7th canto, 15th chapter, which talks about some of the remaining important rules that are supposed to be followed by Virasas. Because in the previous chapters, Narada Muni already spoke about Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, their duties, and then Brahmachari, Vanaprastha, Sannyasi, also little bit about Grosas. So the remaining things of the Grosas will be mentioned now in this chapter so that the subject will be complete. So in the previous section, if you see the previous verses, so there the discussion was about how to perform the Pitru Shraddha and Pitru Yajna and Deva Yajna. In performance of that, one should invite a qualified Brahmana. Normally from Varnashram system, a qualified Brahmana. So among the qualifications for the Brahmana, a Brahmana can be a Brahmachari Brahmana, Grahastha Brahmana, Vanaprastha Brahmana, Sannyasi Brahmana. Sannyasi Brahmana is the best to be called. First Sannyasi Brahmana, then Vanaprastha Brahmana, then Brahmachari Brahmana, then Grahastha Brahmana. So like that the gradations are mentioned. And for the devotees, one should invite a pure devotee. Because by serving such a pure devotee, the host also will get such kind of pure devotional service and also follow in the footsteps of the pure devotee whom they invite. Whomsoever we serve, we try to accumulate their qualities. That is the overall understanding. That is the reason. So then, same way, one should not invite so many Brahmanas. One should invite only one or two Brahmanas so that the respect for the Pitrus and Devatas will remain intact. More people if we can invite, and we are busy taking care of the more guests only. The main event will be taken as a backstage. So something like that. And then there was a discussion about in that the previous section before 22nd verse. So while executing these activities, one should stay away from adharma. There are 5 kinds of adharmas: vidharma, paradharma, chaladharma, abhasa dharma, like that. All these things should be carefully avoided, because when a person is working very hard to go back home back to Godhead, so why one should engage in sinful activities? So one should not engage in sinful activities. One example is given. What kind of activities should not take up? Violence. Especially in the performance of Deva Yajna and Pitru Yajna, one should never ever take part in violence. If one want to go back home back to Godhead, one should be friendly with every living entity. Then why one should encourage violence? For one who want to go back to Godhead, one should never ever engage in violence. That's how it is being indicated. Same time, so one may be subjected to all the anarthas, kama, krodha, lobha, mada, moha, matsara, etc. So among them, the greed, lobha is very dangerous, very difficult to satisfy the lobha. So then he was kind of giving a upaya, how to keep these things under control and not get subjected to all such things. So he was telling that one conquers lust by negative determination. That means, so attachment to things will keep us binding in this material world. So one should always think that one should determine that not to get into the such trap. So negative determination. So one should have a negative determination such as, today I will not enjoy. With the decision, one conquers lust by fasting, and that's all. Fasting is the counteract measure for lust. And then one conquers anger by giving up the desire for violence. So one should never ever have any desire to cause harm to others, people or objects. No physical, mental, and verbal violence to anybody. If one maintains such desire, one will never ever never ever express anger. So like that. One gives up greed by seeing the uselessness of the objects of greed. So we are greedy for objects. So one should understand that these objects are material, they are temporary, they are the cause of bondage. So with that proper understanding, one can try to keep the greed under control. So like that. One gives up fear by considering that all suffering is caused by karma. So we are always afraid of what is going to happen in the future. We can understand that whatever is going to happen, it is supposed to come because of our karma. So we cannot avoid. Whether we are afraid or whether we are so much planning also, we cannot avoid what is supposed to come because our karma is destined to come. So with that understanding, one can avoid fear. Like that it is being indicated. And then it is said that by considering what is Atma, what is not non-Atma. Yes. What is Atma, what is non-Atma, Anvikshya, one can conquer lamentation and illusion, Shoka and Moha. So in this material world, we experience so much Shoka, Moha because of our identity with the gross body and subtle body. Because body goes through dual experiences. When we identify with the body, we also go through dual experiences, Sukha, Dukkha, praise, criticism, Labha, Nashta, etc. So when we study Sankhya properly, when we understand each and every element of the 28 elements clearly what is what, then we don't misunderstand Atma to be the body, Atma to be the mind, Atma to be intelligence, Atma to be senses. So then one does not subjected to Shoka and Moha. So of course it is high order. We may hear so many things, still many times we get subjected to illusion, difficult. But that is the solution. By serving a great devotee, one can become prideless. So, Dhambam Mahad Upasaya. So, by serving great souls, one becomes Vinamra. So, there will be no Damba, no pride. And then, by keeping silent, one can avoid obstacles on the path of yoga. So, unnecessarily not to get involved in so many things, not speaking about so many things in an incoherent way, just keeping quiet oneself where it is not required, only speaking Krishna Katha, like something like that, speaking as much as only required. So one can protect oneself from obstacles. It is by speaking only we create enmity with other people by to be speaking too much. If we speak less, there will not be much enmity with other people. Something like that. One simple example. So by keeping silent, one can avoid obstacles on the path of yoga. By giving up desire for sense gratification, one can conquer violence. So by giving up desire for sense gratification, one can conquer violence. Is it himsam kamadi anihaya? So without having any material ambitions, material desires, why one would become angry, one would become violent upon somebody? It's all when we have a desire, when the desire is not fulfilled, somebody is not listening to us, there is anger. So if by not having any material desires, so basically, see, For a practical purpose, while living in this material world, in order to deal with the material world, one may be doing all these things. But Bhagavatam is talking for a person who is ready to go back to Godhead. अब इधर करना काम खत्म हो गया, इधर करने कुछ बचा नहीं, वापस जाने का. If we have to go back to Godhead, then this should be our disposition. So one may say, अभी ऐसा रहेगा तो कैसे चलेगा जीवन? अभी जीवन चलना है तो आप you can utilize कामा क्रोध और मद मोह मात्सर्य. But if one want to go back to Godhead, one does not employ them so much. So that's how we have to understand. And then we also discussed, this is the last verse we discussed in the last class. One conquers violence to other living entities by doing beneficial acts for them. So krupaya bhutajam dukkham. So our tendency to harm others, we can avoid it when we develop the desire to serve others. If we are only overcome by the desire to serve others, why would we become angry with others? Something like that. One conquers anxiety from seeing omens by concentration on the Lord. Sometimes abhi aajkal suddenly cloudy hota hai, there could be tufan, something here and there could be some problems. Suddenly it may come, so one may be afraid of all these things. But one can avoid all these problems by meditating on the Supreme Lord. Just like sometime back Mataji was telling that Corona, we had a lot of opportunity to hear more and more Krishna Katha. The entire world was out of fear. Anything can happen at a time like that. But devotee community was busy hearing since morning to evening, so many classes, so many angles. So many speakers were giving so many online classes. So devotees were fully busy with all these things. So like that. So more meditation on Supreme Lord, less anxiety about the difficulties of this world. Like Srila Prabhupada also during First World War, he was in Calcutta. The entire Calcutta was worried what is going to happen. The bombing is happening. They were running here and there for safe places. But Prabhupada was busy making boga to offer to his Radha Govindji deities. He would say that what can be done? If Krishna want me to die, I will die. If Krishna want me to live, I will live. But while I am here, let me serve the Lord. Something like that. One conquers physical suffering by practice of yoga. Doing some pranayama, asanas, etc. We can keep our health in good condition. One conquers sleep by taking small quantities of sattvic food. Eating less and eating healthy food. We can control our sleep and we can also keep our health in a good condition. So this is very much required for us, especially people in Mumbai. So I think that is where we stopped and we'll continue from text number 25 onwards. So before that, I think all of you are able to see the slides, text number 25.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Thank you. Krishna, yes, now from 25 to 29, Narada Muni is going to talk about, but there is one solution for all the problems. That is taking shelter of Guru. Taking shelter of Guru is the solution for all the problems. So that is what will be indicated in this section. So let us go ahead. Rajas tamascha satvena.
Rajas tamascha satvena.
Sattvam chopashamena cha.
Sattvam chopashamena cha.
Etat sarvam gurau bhaktya.
Etat sarvam gurau bhaktya.
Purusho hi anjasa jayet.
Purusho hi anjasa jayet. One must conquer the modes of passion and ignorance by developing the mode of goodness. And then one must become detached from the mode of goodness by promoting oneself to the platform of Shuddha Sattva. All this can be automatically done if one engages in the service of the spiritual master with faith and devotion. In this way, one can conquer the influence of the modes of nature.
So this verse slowly introduces us to service to Guru. So before that, it talks about one conquers rajas and tamas by a predominance of sattva. So by cultivating sattva guna, we can keep rajoguna, tamoguna under control. One conquers sattva by being indifferent to the results of actions. That means by cultivating Nishkama mentality. One can even conquer Sattva Guna. Because what was the problem with Sattva Guna? Sukha Sangena Badnanti, Jnana Sangena Chanaga. Sattva Guna also binds us by becoming attached to Sukha and Jnana. A person in mode of goodness becomes attached to Sattva Guna and also becomes attached to the knowledge one acquires. So like that. So one conquers Sattva Guna by being indifferent to the results of one's actions. So one should develop the Nishkama mentality. Even Sattva Guna also there is a problem of being attached to what one is doing. So one should perform one's activities. What was that Gita verse? Karmanya evadikarasya ma phaleshu karmaphala. Ma karmaphala heturbur mate sangosva karmani. That verse we need to cultivate. So in that way. One conquers all of these obstacles quickly and easily by devotion to Guru. By being surrendered to Guru, one can conquer all these obstacles. Starting with Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Mada, Moha, Mastara, Damba, etc., etc., etc. Even the three modes also. All these things can be conquered by taking shelter of a Guru. That is what is indicated now. One conquers Rajas and Tamas by greatest degree of Sattva. One conquers Sattva by indifference to the results of one's actions. One conquers all obstacles quickly and easily by bhakti to Guru. This is like taking a strong medicine which cures all diseases. For the jnanis, destruction of lust and other obstacles is sought result of devotion to Guru. So jnanis take shelter of Guru so that they can control anarthas. But for the devotees, for the pure devotee, destruction of lust is a secondary result of devotion to Guru. That is the difference. So for a pure devotee, the purpose of taking shelter of Guru is to remain the servant of the Guru. Kopi Bartur Padakamalayur Dasa 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 Anudasa. A devotee will never say that now I am perfected, now I am the boss of everyone. No. A pure devotee will always remain the servant of 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 the gopis who are the servant of the Supreme Lord. So like that. That mood will always remain. The devotees will serve Guru not to get rid of Kama, Krodha, Loma, Mahamasara, but to become attached to Krishna. So like that. Hirata Honandra Pulinda Pulkasha Abira Shumba Yavana Kashadaya. Ye Annecha Papa Yadapasraya Shraya Shuddhanti Tasmai Prava Vishnave Namaha. Even Kirata, Hona, Andhra, Pulinda, Pulkasha, etc., they all become purified by taking shelter of a Guru. After being purified, they become completely dedicated to service of Guru and Krishna. They will not say that I become the boss, something like that. So this is the result of serving Guru for the devotees, and the result of serving Guru for the jnanis is they become self-realized and they attain Sahajya Mukti. So in the Sahajya Mukti, anyway, they don't have any service to Guru and all. But after going to Vaikuntha also, one continues to serve Guru and Krishna. So like that. That's how we have to see the difference. Next, he further continues. Why serving Guru or taking shelter of a Guru is one solution for all the problems? What is the speciality of Guru? That will be mentioned in this verse. Yasya Sakshat Bhagavati
Yasya Sakshat Bhagavati
Jnana Deepa Prade Gurau
Jnana Deepa Prade Gurau
Martya Sadhi Shrutam Tasya
Martya Sadhi Shrutam Tasya
Sarvam Kunjara Sauchavat.
Sarvam Kunjara Shauchavat. The spiritual master should be considered to be directly the Supreme Lord because he gives transcendental knowledge for enlightenment. Consequently, for one who maintains the material conception that the spiritual master is an ordinary human, everything is frustrated. His enlightenment and his Vedic studies and knowledge are like the bathing of an elephant.
So here Narada is saying that for a person having for a person having faulty intelligence, who thinks that the Guru, who gives the lamp of knowledge and is a spiritual expansion of the Lord, is an ordinary mortal. So what are the attributes of Guru? Guru is the lamp of knowledge and it is a spiritual expansion of Supreme Lord. Lamp of knowledge means he expounds the knowledge and he removes darkness and is a direct expansion of the Supreme Lord. But a person with faulty intelligence considers Guru to be an ordinary mortal being. All that he has heard from the Guru becomes as useless as cleaning an elephant that merely becomes dirty again. So in the previous verse, it talked about the importance of serving Guru, surrender to Guru, because by surrender to Guru, one can control, one can become free from all the difficulties of this world. But at the same time, one should not consider Guru to be mere mortal. One who considers Guru to be mere mortal, all one has learnt from the Guru, that becomes as useless as cleaning an elephant. If you clean the elephant nicely now, the elephant just goes out the water and puts the dirt again. That is what will happen. So maybe many times that could be our problem sometimes. We treat Guru to be normal human being like us, and that's why we always remain to attach to the material anchorings, material name, fame, material sense gratification and all. So that could be one of the reasons. So like every day we recite in the Guru Ashtakam, Sakshad Haritvena Samassa Shastrai, Uktes Tata Bhaveteva Sadhya. So Guru should be considered to be Sakshad Hari, non different from Hari. But we hear and we also forget. We treat Guru also many times like one among us. So that is the problem. So here it is talking about that. Though this is true, if one thinks the Guru is an ordinary mortal, everything becomes useless. For one who thinks by faulty intelligence that the Guru is even an Amsha of the Supreme Lord, you see, your point is, even if one thinks that Guru is an Amsha of the Lord, or in whom the Lord is directly present, he is an ordinary mortal. For one who thinks by faulty intelligence that the Guru is even an Amsha of the Lord, or in whom the Lord is directly present, is an ordinary mortal. Whatever he has heard, such as the Lord's mantra, his process of hearing and his contemplation becomes useless. See the point Acharya is saying that we should not even consider Guru to be an Amsha of the Lord, or the Lord is directly present in Guru. Instead, one should consider Guru to be non-different from the Supreme Lord. It is very strong statement. So otherwise, whatever one has heard, such as Lord's mantra, Harinam Diksha, the process of hearing, Shravanam, and the contemplation, Shravanam, Kirtana, Smaranam, all are useless. That means the Guru is supposed to be given the highest regard. He is non-different from the Supreme Lord. So that kind of respect should be given to the Guru. He not even should be accepted as an Amsha of the Lord, or Lord is present like Shakti Avashavadar Lord, not even like that also. We should consider him to be directly the Lord. So this is like highest instruction. So now, okay, that is fine. You are telling everyone that they want to consider Guru to be once the Supreme Lord himself. But what about the family members of the Guru? Guru's family member, they consider Guru to be like them only. Some have some are in relation to Guru as father, their son, their father, their daughter, and uncle, wife, children, like that. So many things will be there. What about that? What about them? They may not consider Guru to be the Supreme Lord. They may consider him to be ordinary mortal. Then what will happen? But the sons and fathers of the Guru will consider him a human. how can the student then think of him as the Lord? If family members is considering me as a normal human being, and disabled should be considering me as Guru, as Supreme Lord, how is it possible? Like that one my question. So the next verse answers that. Very interesting example is given. एष वै भगवान् साक्षात्
एष वै भगवान् साक्षात्
प्रधान पुरुषेश्वरः
प्रधानपुरुषेश्वरः
योगेश्वरै विमुग्या sorry योगेश्वरै विमुग्याङ्घ्रिर्
योगेश्वरैर्विमृज्ञान्
लोकोऽयं मन्यते नरम्
लोकोऽयं मन्यते नरम्. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna, is the master of all living entities and of the material nature. His lotus feet are sought and worshipped by great saintly persons like Vyasa. Nonetheless, there are fools who consider Lord Krishna an ordinary human being.
Yeah, the interesting example is about Krishna only, because Krishna himself is sitting there. Krishna and Rama, whose feet are sought by great yogis, are certainly the Supreme Lords. Krishna and Rama, whose feet are sought by great yogis, are certainly the Supreme Lords. Though persons who appeared along with them thought of them as human. Similarly, some may think the Gurus is human, but he is not. The family members may consider him to be one among them. That's up to them, because they have that leverage. But the disciple and the devotee should never treat him as normal human being. Just like when Lord Krishna was present, when Lord Rama was present, the people around him might have considered him as their king, their beloved family member, like that. But that does not diminish his being the Supreme Lord. So he continuously remain as the Supreme Lord only. He will not become less in any way from being the Supreme Lord. But all others should always consider him to be Supreme Lord. Just because the family members are treating him as one of the family, one among the family, the disciple should not treat him as one among the family. So, like that is understanding. Bhagavan Krishna or Bhagavan Rama is definitely Supreme Lord. But people who appeared at the time of the Lord's descent think of him as a human. But how can he become an ordinary human? Because they were next to him, present next to him, they might have considered him to be human. But that does not make him as human. He will remain as the Supreme Lord only. Similarly, some may think of the Guru as human. But how can he be the human? So the disciple should never make that mistake of considering the Guru to be ordinary human being. So like that. Just because others are treating him like that, we should not treat him like that. So that is the understanding here. Because since Guru is playing the important role of purifying and taking one back to Godhead. So he is actually taking the responsibility of the Supreme Lord on his behalf. He should be treated as non-different from the Supreme Lord. Not even Amsha of the Supreme Lord, not even a Avesh of the Supreme Lord. So he is given very important role. So since our going back home back to God is so important, and the Guru who is helping us should be treated like that. So that is the understanding. Like that.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji.
Prabhuji, like many scriptures like this thing we have heard in the past also in various contexts in Bhagavatam also and in various other scriptures also. But like in practical life, when we sometimes see some gurus fall down or something like that, so at that point of time, how the disciple should maintain this consciousness that Guru is non-different than Krishna. But maybe whatever is happening is under the effect of Maya, or how it should be.
My understanding is that this will not happen overnight. It will take some time. Currently, our surrender to Bhakti, our surrender to Guru is gradually increasing. Eventually, when it becomes complete surrender, then definitely the devotee will consider Guru to be Supreme Lord. Guru is non-different Supreme Lord. Guru is the direct representative of Supreme Lord. Till then, as long as there are anathas within us, till then we need to fight.
No, but
So, I mean,
Prabhuji,
this
when,
I understand. Hmm.
like when a disciple witnesses gurus fall down or something like that, so in those situations I'm saying, so in that situations, how the disciple is supposed to maintain this consciousness?
I mean, one way we have to see Guru Tattva. Here, Guru Tattva need to be given that highest regard. But sometimes, if something happens from the Guru's side, but we should not take the judgmental position. We have heard about it in the Bhagavad Gita also. Apiche suduracharo bhajate mam ananya bhak. Sadhureva samantavya samyak vyavati soisa. Because they are sadhu only. Because of some circumstances, they might do something which is inappropriate, but they will be on the path of bhakti and they will eventually progress further. So, but we should not take the role of a judge and try to analyze and try to give a judgmental remarks and all. We should not do. For us, the guru, not a person, but that guru tattva should be respected as non-different Supreme Lord.
Okay, not
So,
particular person as such.
of course, when we have connection to a person, to him and in that Guru Parampara, entire Guru Tattva should be treated as worshipable as the Supreme Lord. But in any case, if something happens, someone elder to us, whether it may be Guru or any senior Vaishnava also, immediately we should not take the judgmental role. Jitna ho sakta utna, we should say that I don't know what happened, it is between him and Krishna. So we are no one to judge. Something like that, we should be careful.
Yeah. Many times use that principle also they apply, na, then Vaishnaveda Kriya Mudra Vidyana Mudra.
That is also applicable. Like even in NOI also one verse is there, na? That Ganga, we may see mud, Fena, Budbuda and all. But Ganga is Ganga. Externally, we may see some impurities, but Ganga remains Ganga. Similarly, Guru also may display some impurities externally, but Guru is Guru. So in that way, we should be always careful to serve him. So like that.
Yeah, because in that phase, if disciple may commit, it is very prone to commit any offense towards the guru. And if one does so, the guru may later on be normal, but disciple will have to bear the brunt of latest Vaishnava aparadha.
Yes, yes. Maybe one safe solution is just stay away during that time so that one does not see what's happening around, one does not make any unnecessary remarks. So like that.
Thank you.
Text. So next verse, text number 28. Shadvarga samyam ekanta
Shadvarga Sanyama Ekanta
sarva niyama chodana
Sarvani Machoda
tadanta yadi no yogan
Tadantaya Dinu Yogan
avaheyu shramavaha.
Avahitu Shramavaha. Ritualistic ceremonies, the regulative principles, austerities, and the practice of yoga are all meant to control the senses and mind. But even after one is able to control the senses and mind, if he does not come to the point of meditation upon the Supreme Lord, all such activities are simply labor in frustration.
Something like that. Since dedication to controlling the senses and following all the rules caused by complete absorption in those processes do not produce meditation on the Lord. They are only useless labor. When considering Guru to be ordinary mortal, and then one may work very hard to control the senses, follow the rules and regulations, and try to absorb oneself on the path of on the process what one is practicing. So such kind of activities are not much useful after disregarding Guru. So that is understanding here. With the continuation of the previous verse. Conquest of lust and other obstacles which is accomplished by Guru Bhakti is the actual result of various practices mentioned in the scriptures. All the rules and regulations such as accumulating performance of sacrifice, dedication to controlling the six senses, if they do not lead to meditation on the Lord, are useless. Same way, first canto verse is there, na? What is that?
Dharmasvanushtita pumsam.
Dharma swa anushrita pumsha vishwaksena katasuya na utpadaya tidiratim shrameyevahi kevalam. So whatever we are doing, if they are not leading us to meditation on Supreme Lord, they are all simply wasted labor. That is the understanding. By Guru Bhakti, one conquers lust and attains the Lord. But on the other hand, instead of working hard on one's own, if one completely surrenders to Guru, by the mercy of Guru, one easily becomes dedicated to Supreme Lord. That is the understanding. Second canto, some verses come now on this regard. Tevai vidanti atitaranchita devamayam Sri Shudra Puna Shabara Apipapa Jiva Ati Adbhuta Krama Parayana Shila Shikshas Tiriyak Jeno Kimuta Sutudharanaya Ati Adbhuta Krama Parayana Shila Shikshat Adbhuta Krama Parayana Shila. So Shila means one who is following the Supreme Lord who performs wonderful activities. If we take Shiksha from that person, Tiriyak Jana, even the animals can be liberated. Then Kimuta Shuddha Dharanaya, then what to speak of the human beings who can hear and understand? So like that. So by taking shelter of Guru, one can easily attain the mercy of the Supreme Lord. One can easily attain Krishna Prema, meditation of the Supreme Lord. Otherwise, one need to work hard. Otherwise, if by working hard also, if one does not attain meditation of the Supreme Lord, all that hard labor will be simply wasted labor only, something like that. Some point is mentioned in the 10th canto also. Naham yajja prajatibhyam tapasopashamena va tushyeyam sarva bhutatma guru susrushayayata. Here Lord Krishna himself is saying, it seems, I, the soul of all beings, I am not satisfied by ritual worship, Brahmanical initiation, penances, or self-discipline, as I am by faithful service rendered to one's spiritual master. So serving Guru is given high regard. I don't know what is the context in which this verse is being spoken. Anyone remembers what was the title of this chapter? 1080. Maybe you can see in the folio quickly and see what is the title, which chapter, in which context Lord Krishna is saying this. That's what.
In Bhagavad Gita, Prabhuji?
No, 10th canto, 80th chapter.
Okay, 10th chapter, 80.
Lord Krishna is speaking to Sudama. When Sudama comes home, after Krishna was remembering their Gurukula days. So in that regard, he is talking about the importance of serving Guru, how both of them served Guru very faithfully. So in that regard, he is Lord Krishna speaking this verse. See, if you know in what context, it makes sense. So in that way.
I am the soul of all beings.
Ah.
By ritual worship, Brahminical initiation, penance, or self-discipline, as I am by faithful service rendered to one spiritual master.
Yeah. The translation, yeah.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Ah.
Prabhuji, we speak about surrender to Guru. So all those who have taken initiation, they are surrendered to the Guru, no? We follow Guru's instructions. And exactly then what does it mean?
See,
Sir, the Guru also, like some
I
of us,
don't know.
like we are
This
not
is
able to
this.
serve directly. So we
Uh,
serve in Vani. We
mm,
try to follow the instructions. And beyond this, what else is required for surrender?
See, this is my understanding. We have two things: Shastra and Supreme Lord. So we want to serve the Lord, and we know about the Lord from Shastra.
Hmm.
So we have some practical means of serving the Lord. Deity is there in our home, in the temple. We have many services to serve the deity. Deity performing arati, performing, doing Shrungara, and then offering boga, and etc. etc. All preparing boga, decorating temple, performing festivals like that. Some things are there which we are regularly doing. So that is like direct service to Supreme Lord. Other thing is, Lord is expecting us to follow certain rules and regulations. We are following them. That is like, in a way, indirectly serving the Lord, following what Lord told. Same way, Guru is there. When Guru is personally present, we may serve, we may get to serve him personally. When Guru is not in person, it is available in front of us, following the instructions of Guru, just like we are following the instructions of Lord, like Bhagavad Gita. To follow the instructions of Guru. So directly or indirectly, service is being carried out. So in the sense, direct service means there could be some direct order must have been received and one is executing that order. That is the direct service. So indirect service means in general, what is required to be on the path of bhakti, that is being done. General instructions like following 4 kilometers, chanting 16 rounds every day without fail, following, eating only Krishna Prasad and other things. So in one sense, what you have said is also true, but we may have to a little bit improve in that. So
Surrender means just these things, nothing beyond that.
and I can't
This is
say
what
like that. There is no end to it. See, it can go all the way up to Atma Nivedanam stage tak. वहां तक जा सकते हैं. So one can do all these things being remotely also. One can do all these things being next to Guru also. One can do while doing other things also. One can only do the service to Guru only. So it is all at all level it is possible.
Okay.
Hare
Yeah.
Krishna, Prabhuji.
So last one point is, but in any case, for a jiva in the material world, the representative of the Lord is Guru. If one is in the presence of Guru, one is in the presence of Supreme Lord, how does one serve the Supreme Lord? Thinking like that, one should serve the Guru. We say, na, Atiti Devo Bhava. If somebody comes to our home, we should treat him as the Supreme Lord and serve him, take care of him very nicely. The Guru is there with us only. So we should be serving him. So like that. Just a minute, I just have one call.
Hare Krishna, there is a message from Prabhuji that he is trying to join, but it is not happening. So what he has told all of us is we should all drop out from the meeting and again join. Hare Krishna.
Okay. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, I'm just trying to connect with Brajradhika Mataji. She's there in the offline class. 40.
Yeah.
Speak, Hare Krishna. Someone can speak.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, yes.
Hare Krishna, yes,
Sorry.
Prabhuji, we can hear you.
Yes, yes. Some problem happened. Okay. Yeah, recording is still going on. So we'll continue with the class. Okay. Sorry, I got a phone call. I carried away with that. So we were discussing about the importance of Guru. In all respects, Guru should be treated as non-different of Supreme Lord. That is the point here. So Lord Krishna further says in, now you are able to see the slides?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, thank you. Nanvartako vida Brahman Varnashrama Varnashramavatamiha Ye Maya Guruna Vacha Taranti Anjo Bhavarnavam. No, this is in the notes, one verse. So, certainly, O Brahmana, of all the followers of the Varnashram system, those who take advantage of the words I speak in my form as the spiritual master and thus easily cross over the ocean of material existence, best understand their own true welfare. In the same section, Lord Krishna, while speaking to Sudama, it seems, so they are only speaking in the sense. So those who follow Varnashrama duties, those who take advantage of the words I speak in my form as the spiritual master and thus easily cross over the ocean of material existence. Those who take the words of the Guru seriously, they can cross over the material existence very easily. So that's all Lord Krishna is telling. Similarly, can one not conquer the sense by rules and then attain the Lord? Some may question that, first we'll conquer our senses on our own by following some rules and regulations, then attain the Lord. Is it not possible? That is the question. Answer is because one becomes completely dedicated to those processes. These processes do not produce meditation on the Lord. What to speak of attaining the Lord? They can't even bring one to Smaranam state. Then what to speak of going back to Godhead? So that is what it is. Since they do not accomplish this, they are useless labor. What doubt is there about this? So like that. So Lord Krishna in a way kind of dismisses it. So that's how we have to understand. So now we'll go through the 29th verse. Yata vartadayo yarta
Yata vartha varto teyo dayo he
yogasyartam na bibrati
yoga yoga sartham na dibbati
anartaya bhavevyusma
anarthaya bhaves yutsma
purtam ishtam tata sataha.
Urtamishtam tatha satam. Translation. A professional activities or business profits cannot help one in spiritual advancement, but are a source of material entanglement. The Vedic ritualistic ceremonies cannot help anyone who is not a devotee of the Supreme Personality of God.
So are you able to see the slide in which 7, 15, 29 verse is there?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. So just as occupations, though bringing wealth, do not produce liberation. One example is given. So people in Varnashram duty, they follow their occupations. Just like our occupations, though bringing wealth, they bring us wealth, they maintain us, but they do not produce liberation. So similarly, sacrifice performed by non-devotees do not bring about attainment of the Lord. So simple example is given. Yeah, in the world we are performing our occupations, which will bring us monthly salary and all, but they will not bring us liberation, certainly. Unless until one practices sadhana, one cannot go back to Godhead. Similarly, if one is simply performing sacrifice on one's own interest, they may bring out the respective material results, but they will not bring attainment of the Lord. So that is like performing our duties or performing our sacrifices means working on our own without surrender to Guru like that. An example is given. Just as occupations like farming, though producing wealth and enjoyment, do not produce liberation, the goal of yoga, and are thus useless for attaining the ultimate goal. Similarly, sacrifices performed by a person who is not a devotee also do not produce results. So this is the understanding.
This concept was discussed before. At one point when you were mentioning that any activities, whether even if it is organic, it does not give result unless we
Surrender to Supreme. Tapasvino, Dana Para Yashasvino, Manasvino, Mantra Vidasu Mangala, Shemamna Vindanti Vinaya Darpanam. If it is not offered to Supreme Lord, they will not award us the assumed results. So that is there. Somewhat similar this verse also. Yeah. That is second canto 4th chapter. So basically the point is, one may say that no, I can do on myself, why I need to surrender to Guru. So if that is the mentality, they will not produce, they may produce the material results, but they will not take one back to Godhead. That is the point one should understand. So like that.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, like here what is mentioned now, that sacrifices performed by person who are not devotees do not produce any result, that is, do not produce any spiritual results. Now that is how it should be.
No, here the result is to go back to Godhead.
Okay, the ultimate.
the motive of performing varnashram duties or any duty from chapter 11 to 15 is all ultimately everything is directed to going back to Godhead. One is doing all these things with the intention to go back to Godhead. So like that.
Okay, so they may
That is-
give some material benefits to the performer, but that is not considered as the goal. That is why it is said that.
Yes, perfect. The goal is to going back to Godhead.
Okay.
So next verse, the process of liberation for a householder. Then how a householder can attain liberation, how they should conduct, how they should behave while performing their day-to-day activities, by what kind of mentality and behavior they can go on the path back to Godhead. That is indicated now. So text number 30. Yes, chitta vijaye yatta.
Yes, chitta vijaye yatta.
San nissango parigraha.
Syan nisango parigraha.
Eko vivikta sharano.
Eko vivikta sharano.
Bhikshur bhaikshamitashana.
Vikshur bhaiksha pitashana. One who desires to conquer the mind must leave the company of his family and live in a solitary place, free from contaminated association. To maintain the body and soul together, he should wait as much as he needs for the bare necessities of life.
So the very tough instruction. One who decides to conquer the mind must leave the company of one's family and without being dependent should live in a solitary place, beg for living and eat frugally. So basically the understanding is a grasta cannot go back home back to Godhead being a grasta. From varnashram duty point of view, one should become either vanaprastha or sannyasi, then only one can go back home back to Godhead. Or in this section, one can attain liberation. Being a grasta, one can attain liberation. One should become renounced. Becoming renounced means practically showing to the Lord that I have done with this world. I am ready to come to spiritual world anytime. So like that. That's how we have to take it. Being attached to the comfort of this world does not enable one to go back to Godhead, living behind this world. That is the understanding.
Just to say from varnashram point of view, from devotional point of view.
We'll see what Acharyas are saying. This verse explains the process of liberation for the householder. If the householder has association with his family, this is the problem. One cannot conquer lust, though one tries. One should give up that. One should give up that association and live by begging. One who endeavors for control of the mind should become a beggar. Here basically, as long as one is living in the home, one will be attached to the facilities offered in the home. Here lust means that only, attachment to the facilities in the home. One cannot live without that. It is very difficult. So that's why giving up homely comforts is very difficult, even at the time of death. That's why one should train oneself by living. How to train? Give up home and take to vanaprastha or sannyasa. Live by begging. Then one practically becomes detached from this world, material world. How long a beggar will be attached to this world? So that is the understanding. Smriti says, this is a Smriti verse which says, Dvandva hatasya garhaste dhyana bhagnadi karanam lakshayitva grihi spashtam Sanyased avicharayan. The householder, seeing that such life filled with dualities is the cause of breaking his meditation on the Lord. घर पे रहेगा तो कुछ इश्यू रहता है. आप कुछ पढ़ने के लिए बैठेगा तो कोई तो आएगा डिस्टर्ब करेंगे. कुछ चांटिंग करने के लिए बैठेगा तो कोई डिस्टर्ब होगा. Like that. One day, always there is some disturbance, some anxiety, some responsibility is there, some important activity will be there. Therefore, one should renounce without much consideration. If one want to practice Ananya Bhakti, renounce home. That is the understanding. But if one can practice Ananya Bhakti being in the home, that may be okay. But it's up to the individual to examine oneself. If one can practice Ananya Bhakti living in home, that may be okay. But Shastra says it is not possible. So then if at all one Grihastha want to go back to Godhead, they should give up home and take to Vanaprastha or Sannyasa and live by begging. See, live by begging in one sense, exhibiting one's detachment to this material world. The practical way of exhibiting one's detachment from this material world is leading a renounced order. That's all. That is understanding. I am not saying Nardamun is saying. Obviously, Nardamun will say like that only. Because he himself is a renunciate. So he will say everyone should become renunciate.
Or Shivas. But for us, not possible. Firstly, practicing renouncing order. And when you're in the house, you tend to fall for all of this.
10 to 9. It is a default setting.
Exactly. So I don't think it's happening.
But one day one should come to that. It may not be like, okay, you have to take renunciation at 40th year or 50th year, not like that. One day, at one point of time, there should be some time for renunciation also. That's why otherwise Shastra will say, the Shastra says 25 years Brahmacharya, 25 years Grihastha, 25 years Vanaprastha, 25 years Sannyas. That means 50 years only, up to 50 only you are in the world. Remaining 50 are leaving the world. So that is Shastric recommendation. So how to follow, when to follow, where to follow, that one has to decide. So what can be done? If one has that caliber, I stay in the home but not attached to home, then it may be okay. So like that.
It's true.
And we cannot say like that, but somebody need to work hard for that. So like that.
Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji.
Prabhuji, in today's world, like how do we practice this?
Yeah, I mean, this is a practical question. That's why I said from Varnashna point of view, that was because this is how people used to live. Even if you see Bhagavatam, now currently we have come to 7th canto. Till now, any devotee that is being described in the Bhagavatam, what was their regime of life? Just name a devotee and see how did they give up this world. Why kings are being spoken in the Bhagavatam? In comparison to our responsibility, their responsibility bigger or not? They are much more responsible. If a person much more responsible can do this, then what to speak of a person with less responsibility?
But at the same time, they have the authority.
What authority?
A king can decide whether I want to stay or not.
No, anyway, everyone can decide. No, not like that.
And if I decide to give up.
See, wait. See, one thing again. Don't. Here, the Vanaprastha sannyas are mainly for men. The ladies may not get into, but you don't take it in person. The ladies are advised to stay home and practice bhakti. If husband is going to Vanaprastha, lady can accompany. If so in that case, but otherwise the process is, at least for men, this is the process recommended in the Shastra. But in the current day situation, because the system is not in current, no one is following. But at least wherever you are, mentally be like this. One should practice at least mentally, at mental level like this.
Prabhuji, does it entail? Sorry.
Yes, Mataji?
Does it mean that we should not participate in social functions, family functions, and limit ourselves to our bhajan at home, even if we are
Okay.
living with the family?
Same question I'm repeating for you. Why one attends social functions and family functions? What was the purpose?
Social functions in the sense like marriages in the family, or
Why? What is the purpose in attending that?
It's an obligation.
it's
not
an
that we-
auspicious occasion like marriage, or the thread
Okay.
ceremony,
Okay. Why?
where
Okay.
where
Why we attend?
where blessings of the older people are sought, specifically sought,
Okay. What kind of blessings the older people are giving?
to the married couple or to the person who's
Yeah.
having his thread
Whichever
ceremony.
occasion, the older people have gone there to give blessings. But what kind of blessings they are giving?
May you be Krishna conscious.
How are they giving? Okay, they are fine. Let them give that blessing. But how are they giving? How are they giving that blessing?
How means?
See, I'll simply say. Normally, the traditional custom of giving blessings is that the new couple will come and offer obeisance, touching your feet, and you will bless by keeping your hand on the head. That may you live your married life in Krishna conscious way, or may you have children, may you like that, may you live long like that, Chiranjeevi Baba, Putrati Baba, something like that. That's kind of blessings.
Yes.
Just by saying one word, especially in regards to may you be remain Krishna consciousness. Will they remain Krishna conscious just by saying that one word?
No.
Then how they can be Krishna conscious? What could be the practical way of awarding that blessing? Just think, it's very simple. Still, how does he endeavor? When does he endeavor? No, when he understands that he need to endeavor, then who will teach that he need to endeavor and how to practice bhakti and all? If the elderly people who go to this occasion, if they happen to teach them what they're supposed to do, how they're supposed to conduct in their married life, how they should lead their marriage life in Krishna conscious way, then that will be a real blessing. Not just by saying, keeping the hand on the head that may you be Krishna conscious. That is not the blessing. The real blessing is actually teaching and telling them point by point how they should lead their life. That means the older person taking the role of guru.
Okay.
That will be beneficial for both the giver, both the taker. Otherwise, simply going there and standing for a photograph and coming back, it is see the point is we are discussing seventh canto and Nardamuni very clear. Performing what kind of varnashtama duties one will be qualified to go back home back to Godhead. Otherwise, attending family functions, we are fulfilling our obligations. We are going to their home and they'll be coming to our home in the future. It is like Dadati Pratigranati principle. If we are dealing with them on the material level, on the material level relationship will be there. If you are dealing with them to some extent, Krishna conscious level, to that extent only it is there. But for those who want to go back home back to Godhead, the older person is planning to go back home back to Godhead. He should have that guts to tell you people are getting married. The purpose of your marriage is to go back home back to Godhead. This is the means to go back home back to that. Is successful. Otherwise, it's simply wasted labor.
Okay, Prabhuji, that makes sense. Yes.
I mean, this is because here we have been again repeating the point. See, it is a duty of Varna or Grasta going to functions and attending all the family functions. But why I'm saying the purpose? Ultimately, what is the result of the visiting for both the parties, for the guest and for the host? That will determine what should be done, what should not be done.
What are the most of the bills? Both.
Both,
Have to be-
obviously. Then, then don't go.
Then it doesn't work.
What you want to work? So no problem. You don't want to be in the family. You want to go back to Godhead.
So
If you want to go back to guarded, why are you in the family?
now you say it's not for the females. But if I tell you, if I don't want to go for any social function, it will be very disrespecting on my part.
That's what. No, it is not disrespecting. It has to be clearly awarded. Just like if a husband is taking sannyasa, there is a big ceremony. If not in all of, I mean, even in our Gaudiya Vaishnava also we celebrate ceremony in the temple and all. But if a grahastha is taking sannyasa in Sri Vaishnava, it is a big ceremony. Publicly is announcing that I am civil dead. Shraddha rites also be performed. Does anybody will invite such a sannyasi for a family function afterwards? Why they will not invite? Why they will not invite him? No, he is not supposed to be invited. First of all, he is not supposed to be invited because he is no more in the grahastha culture. So he is away. So no need to invite. Same way, if the husband has gone and taken sannyas, same way, the wife also should renounce the world. Those staying in the home, not involved in the worldly activities, just meditate on the Lord's pastime, smaranam only. Stay home and do.
Hare Krishna
No,
Prabhuji.
if one second. But if one want to go back to guarded, this is the only means. See here, wait. I am not discounting being in the association of devotees. There could be so many ceremonies one can participate in the devotee circles. In the worldly circles, one should stay away. That's why it says, na, if one desires to conquer the mind and why conquer the mind? We can go back backward only when we conquer the mind and senses. For that, one should leave the company of one's family and without being dependent, should live in a solitary place and beg for living and eat frugally. One should practically demonstrate one's detachment from this world. Then only one will be qualified to go back, attain liberation. Not possible. Yes, Mataji, sorry, you continue.
No, Prabhuji, I just wanted to tell you that about, say, I'm talking about 70 years back, when 50 years, 60 years back, when we were very small, the widows in the family, or even the men who had lost their wives, or very old people, they would never come for the weddings or these ceremonies. So probably it was not because of the old age, but because of this very reason, that
Because of the spiritual culture.
spiritual culture. Yes, that was the thing. So even when the family was invited for lunch or something before the marriage, during the marriage ceremonies, they would never participate and they would remain at home.
Yes, they will remain in a seclusion. Matlab, they will be in the home only, but they have a separate room.
But they were not participating in any puja or anything, any gathering. They would be at home. The very, very elderly people.
Yes.
So it could be probably because of this reason, not just the old age.
That is true. That is true. Even in my mind, also similar thing was there. Even for example, even nowadays also, like Kartik Yatra, when they go to Jagannath Puri or Vrindavan, we see a peculiar scene. The whole area is filled with old ladies, old men, old ladies. They stay there in Jagannath Puri or Vrindavan till death. That's all. They given up their home. They have come to Vrindavan. They will live there. They do bhajan every day, morning, afternoon, evening. Every day they go to river or ocean, take cold water bath, and they serve the deities. And they keep hearing and chanting and doing bhajans, and they die. They are preparing to leave this world. So like that. This culture is being prevalent now also. It is not that now it is not there. Not in Mumbai, but in holy places.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah. See, whether one is in the renounced order or in the home, just by being in the renounced order, one cannot go back to guarded. Renounced order is a platform where one can comfortably practice renunciation. That doesn't mean that everyone in the renounced order is renounced. We cannot equate like that. There is a favorable atmosphere to be detached from this world. So it is like that. But ultimately, one has to prepare to go back to Godhead. If one want to prepare to go back to Godhead, why one should be engaging in the worldly activities? One should say Sasti Sasti.
Choice to leave.
Hare Krishna. So let us see further what Narada Muni is saying. Deshe suchau same rajan
Deshe shuchau same rajan
samsapyasanamaatmanaha
samsthapya sanamatmanaha
stiram sukham samam tasmin
Thiram sukham samam tasmin
asita asisa juanga omiti.
asitarjva anga omiti. My dear king, in a sacred and holy place of pilgrimage, one should select a place in which to perform yoga. The place must be level and not too high or low. There one should sit very comfortably, being steady and equipoised, keeping his body straight, and thus begin chanting the Vedic prana.
See, one lived in the Grahastha ashram certain time, then one take to Vanaprastha order, either Vanaprastha or Sannyasa, whatever. Then follow tapasya for some time. Then when the body is becoming weak, then take shelter of Ashtanga Yoga, raise the prana from Muladhara Chakra to Ajna Chakra, pierce into Brahmarandhara, attain liberation. That process is being mentioned now. How to execute the final Ashtanga Yoga in order to give up the body voluntarily and attain liberation. So step by step, all while being at Grahastha ashram in the home, one already practiced Yama Niyama, all the rules and regulations. Now after having entered into forest, what one is to do? One is supposed to do from asana onwards. Today is World Yoga Day. So whatever. So he says that, O king, establish a seat in a clean level place. Level place, clean place. One should sit comfortably in particular asana, firmly and peacefully, with a straight body and chant the Vedic pranava. From Varnashrama point of view, for those who want to attain liberation, for them the mantra recommended is chanting Om. But for a devotee, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Narayanaya, or Oh, Hare Krishna Mahamantra, whatever. If at all one want to leave the body immediately, one can take shelter of Ashtanga Yoga and then leave the body. So first what one should do? Leave the home, enter Vanaprastha or Sannyasa, go to forest, perform tapasya for some time. Then one is becoming old, then sit on a clean, plain place, sit in a particular asana, then do pranayama, remain peaceful, just focus on your breath, not thinking here and there, and then chant one's respect to mantra. They will chant Om, we will chant Hare Krishna mantra. One should keep one's body straight and chant Om. So like that. This is like pranayama, asana, pranayama, tatyahara, dharana. Tab tak ho raha hai. So chanting Om and meditate on the Om. Om means meditate on the Paramatma. Chant Hare Krishna, meditate on Bhagavan. So dharana. It's like that. Pranapanau sannirudyat
Pranaparyos Sanirudhya
Pura kumbhakare chakai
Pura Kumbhakari Chake
yavan manastajet kaman
Yavan Manasta Tejakama
swanasagra nirikshana
Svanasram Nirishana
yato nissarati
Yato Nihirastahi
yato nischalati.
Yato
You can
Nishsarati
write interchangeable. Manakamahatam brumat
Mahana Kama Hatam Brahmat
tatastata upahritya
Tatastata Upaharita
Hrudirudyakshanirbudhai Buddha.
Hridayruddhascha Translation. While continuously starting at the tip of the nose, a learned yogi practices the breathing exercise through the technical means known as Purak, Kumbhak, and Reiki, controlling inhalation and exhalation and then stopping them both. In this way, the yogi restricts his mind from material attachments and gives up all mental desires. As soon as the mind, being defeated by lusty desires, drifts toward feelings of sense gratification, the yogi should immediately bring it back and arrest it within the core of his heart.
The previous verse talked about asana, and this verse talks about pranayama. Stopping the prana and apana by puraka, kumbhaka, rechaka. Puraka means breathing in. Kumbhaka means holding it for a while. Rechaka means breathing out. Again hold it for a while. Again breathe in. Hold it for a while. Breathe out. Hold it for a while. Like this puraka, kumbhaka, rechaka. One should stare at the tip of one's nose until the mind gives up all desires. This is like pranayama. So on one side, sit in a particular asana, comfortable asana, then chant Om, and then control the breathing. The intelligent person should withdraw the mind, which is defeated by lust, from various objects and gradually concentrate in the heart. This is called pratyahara. Pratyahara means the senses and mind are always looking for sense objects. अभी टाइम हो गया, डिनर का टाइम हो गया, डिनर चाहिए, स्नैक्स का टाइम हो गया, ब्रेकफास्ट का टाइम हो गया, लंच का टाइम हो गया, like that. The mind is always wanting, the tongue is always looking for some tastable items. So one should be withdrawing them, because now in the forest what one is supposed to do Ashtanga yoga. You should not be thinking about what I will get and all. So just withdraw the senses, withdraw the mind from the external sense objects, and just control and focus on asana, pranayama, pratyahara, and dharana. So like that, one should be focused on all these things. So like that. So we have covered asana, pranayama, pratyahara. So next. Evam abhyasyataschitam
Evam abhyastatachitam
कालेनाल्पीयसायतहते
कालेनाल्पीयसा यते
अनिशं तस्य निर्वाणम्
अनिशं तस्य निर्वाणं
याति अनिन्दनवह्निवत्.
नास्ति अनिन्द्यनवैव. When the yogi regularly practices in this way, in a short time his heart becomes fixed and free from disturbances, like a fire without flames or smoke.
So like yama niyama in the gross order over, after coming to forest, asana, pranayama, pratyahara, dharana, dhyana, samadhi, like that even practices, in no time one comes to liberated state. What is the meaning of that? Just like a flame is burning, and it will become extinguished. As long as the fuel is there, the flame burns. When the fuel is over, it is extinguished. Same way, as long as we have attachment to this material body functions. The moment we understand that I am not this body, I have nothing to do with this body, we come out of the bodily consciousness, the body will die. Body does not do anything. Body is as good as an extinguished lamp. It does not function anymore materially. It's like that. Basically, coming to the state of samadhi. Nirvana means peace or the state of samadhi. Having entered into samadhi, one only contemplates on the Paramatma. One does not think about the body anymore. The body does not exist for a person who already reached samadhi. So like that. The wick is still there because there is no oil in the lamp, so it will not light. The light will not come. वो पूरा बंद हो जाते हैं. So that is that like that. Though body is there, body does not perform any functions because he is not identifying the body only. So like that. This is samadhi. कामादिभिर् अनाविद्धम्
कामादिभिरनाविद्धम्
प्रशान्ता किल वृत्तियत्
प्रशान्ता किल वृत्तियत्
चित्तं ब्रह्म सुखस्पृष्टम्
चित्तं ब्रह्म सुखस्पृष्टम्
नैवोत्तिष्ठेत कर्हि चेत्.
नैवोत्तिष्ठेत कर्हिचित्. When one's consciousness is uncontaminated by material lusty desires, it becomes calm and peaceful in all activities, for one is situated in eternal blissful life. Once situated on that platform, one does not return to materialistic activities.
So after going to samadhi state, what happens next? When one's consciousness is uncontaminated by material lusty desires, that means when one is not attached to anything in the material world, when it is peaceful in all activities and is touched by the happiness of Brahman, the consciousness does deviate at any time. Does deviate or does not deviate? I don't know, I'm not sure. Does not deviate. So basically, having attained samadhi state, one should be firmly fixed on the object of meditation. That is understanding. So like that. That means as long as one does not contemplate anything in the material world, one obviously contemplates on the object of meditation only. So the attainment of the liberation. So thus one is firmly fixed. See, for example, because here Nardaman is speaking to Yudhishthira Maharaj. How did Yudhishthira Maharaj leave this world? First canto, chapter 15. As soon as he understood Krishna is now no more, he coronated Parikshit as the next king and he was going to north. He did not even speak. He did not even told his brothers that I am going. He just changed his clothes and started walking north. Seeing him, other brothers also followed after him. That is what renunciation means. They gone to far, that is as good as Vanaprastha order. Then they performed tapasya hostilities for some time and then eventually they went to upper Himalayas, from there to Swarga, from there to spiritual world. That's how one should never look back. Going back, going. Even Draupadi fell down, it did not look back. Nakula fell down, did not look back. Sahadeva fell down, did not look back. Arjuna fell down, did not look back. Bhima fell down, did not look back. Going ahead. If one is planning to going ahead only, does not look back. Anything can happen in the world. So that should be the determination. Like that. Because I just heard all these things from Nardamuni now. He followed exactly same at the end. So like that. Ya pravrajya graha purvam.
Yah pravrajya grahat purvam
Trivargavapanat punaha.
trivargavapanat punah
Yadi sevedatan bhikshuhu.
yadi sevetatan bhikshuhu
Savai vantasi apatrapa.
savai vantasha apatriya. Translation: one who accepts the sannyasa order gives up the three principles of materialistic activities in which one indulges in the field of household life, namely religion, economic development, and sense gratification. One who accepts sannyasa but then returns to such material activities is to be called vantasi, or one who eats his own vomit. He is indeed a shameless person.
So, one who having renounced the house and dharmartha kama again enjoys them is shameless eater of vomit. Normally, the household order, every householder supposed to practicing dharma, artha, kama day by day, because these three are the principal duties for principal purusharthas for the householder. They need to follow dharma because they need to perform all the household duties. That is called dharma. So by doing all the duties, they will get some artha to maintain their family. As a result of that artha, they will maintain the family and they will also perform all the festivals according to their desire. That is kama. So like that. If there is no artha, they can't do anything. They can't maintain. Artha will come when you follow dharma. So dharma, artha, kama are the three important duties that a grahastha follows. Like kama means performing marriage ceremony. It will not happen just like that. For marriage ceremony, lot of wealth is required. So for that, one need to perform duties. When you perform duty, you get artha. You save artha for performing the special festivals like this. That is called kama. So in that way. So grahastha means the performer of dharma, artha, kama. So sannyasi or vanaprastha means he has given up dharma, artha, kama. They is on the path of moksha. Brahmachari is no one. Vanaprastha and sannyasi are on the path of moksha. Grahastha are on the path of dharma, artha, kama. So like that, that is understanding. So now a person has given up home and entered into vanaprastha or sannyasa order. That means given up dharma, artha, kama, entered into moksha, the path of moksha. So what one should do in the vanaprastha sannyasa is all about moksha only. How to attain moksha, how to go back to Godhead. That is only should be the main this thing. But that person, in spite of being in the vanaprastha or sannyasa order, still want to enjoy household opulences. He is eating his own vomit. Taking sannyasa means vomiting away dharmartha kama. And after entering into sannyasa, if he want to again perform dharmartha kama, then eating on own vomit. That is the understanding. So that's why it is mentioned. Trivargava panat means from the house in which there is complete planting of dharma, artha and kama. One who previously renouncing the house later enjoys household dharmas is a shameless eater of vomit. The same thing, just like Mataji was giving the example, na? When a person already announces that now my life is meant for preparation to go back home, then they will not enter into any household functions. They will not attend marriages or other functions, because again attending all these things, again eating the vomit. So like that. That's why generally sannyasis are not supposed to take part in household functions. When Prabhupada was conducting the marriage, many sannyasis criticized Prabhupada. How can a sannyasi do all these things? But what can be done? Because the Vaishnavas do not have any, they don't know anything. So Prabhupada only has to teach everything to them. That's why he was kind of being part of that. Huh? Apad dharma. So like that. So very strong rules and regulations. So what can be done? It is like that. So next verse. Yaisvadeha smruto natma
Yasya devo smrito natma
Martyo vit krimi basmavat
martyo vitkrumi bhasmavat
ta enam atmasat krutva
the enam atmasat krutva
shlagayantihi asattama.
shlaghayanti asattama. Sannyasis who first consider that body is subject to death, when it will be transformed into stool, worms, or ash. But why again give importance to the body and glorify it as the self, are to be considered the greatest rascals.
Sannyasi who first considered that the body is not the self. First of all, a person taking sannyasa means he has understood I am not the body, but I am the soul. So I want to attain the constitutional position of soul. With that understanding, he already taken entry into sannyasa ashram. That the body is subject to death. One day or other, body will die. After death, it becomes either the stool or worms or ashes. In Indian tradition, the Hindus burn the body becomes ash. The Parsis throw the body into the smashan. That will be eaten by vultures. Then eventually it becomes the stool of the vultures. In some places, the body, when there is a dead body, from the dead body there produces a lot of insects. The dead body becomes insects because the insect eat the dead body and produce few more insects. Like that, the whole body will be transformed into full of insects. Anyone, if some dead body is lying there, for example, cat body or dog body is there, few days later you see the whole body is filled with lot of insects. From where they came? From the dead body only they will take birth. What to speak of dead body? Even some food, if you throw on the outside, if it is not dried by the sunlight, a lot of insects will come. So 1, 2, 3, like that, hundreds of will come in due course of time. After the food is over, they will all die. The food is converting into insects eventually. So if a person has this kind of understanding that I am not this body is ultimately meant to die. After death, this body either becomes ashes or becomes insects or becomes stool of some animal and then enter into Vanaprastha or sannyas order. But after entering into Vanaprastha sannyas order, then what happens? But who later thinks that the body, the self, and glorifies it, and to be considered as the most sinful people. It's like that. What is the meaning of the eating vomit? This is the meaning of eating vomit. One has given up the body, entered into sannyas order, Vanaprastha order, again came back to city and again started enjoying the household opulences. So that person is called as Vantasi, eating the vomit. And such a person is the most sinful. The sannyasi thinks that the body is not the soul. He understands the body is stool, worms, ashes at the end finally. And thus is equal to that even now. If such a person then takes the body as the soul, he is considered the worst sinner. What is the meaning of body? Considering the body to be self is person taken to Vanaprastha and sannyasa, gone to forest, are living by begging, but not finding any taste. Eating roots and fruits, not happy at all. Because grahastha घर पे बहुत खाते थे पिज्जा पास्ता. So now वही खाने का इच्छा है, वापस सिटी पे आ गया, पिज्जा पास्ता खाने लगा. So that is called Vantasi. Because one is already prepared to perform austerities until one attains liberation, but in the middle only he has given up austerities and come back to city life and want to enjoy. That kind of person is called the most sinful person. Matlab, this person taken to sannyasa not by force, with the knowledge. In spite of having knowledge, again coming back for the pleasure of the body, such a condition is the most sinful condition. That is not at all appreciated by Vedic literatures. So, in that way. So, actually, in one sense, from Varnashram Dharma point of view, attain liberation not so easy. One need to be so vigilant always. One need to be so strict and one needs to be so determined, etc. And we may think that, bhakti kya, hum gulab jamun khate khate Bhagavatam jayenge. That may be okay to encourage the neophyte devotees. But that should not be the mood of advanced devotee. Advanced devotees slowly withdraw from the material world. So they may be doing practically, but here a devotee should do conceptually. If that may not be doing. So another way of being engaged in samadhi is, for a devotee, samadhi is 24/7 preaching activities. In the case of Acharya and all, 24/7 preaching activities, like Srila Prabhupada, 24/7 he was preaching. It is samadhi, as good as samadhi only. For a Jnana Yogi, Ashtanga Yogi, will be in samadhi. But for a devotee, preaching, either you have the preaching abilities, you can preach 24/7. Or if you have the ability to serve the deity in the temple, serve 24/7. But engage in devotional activities 24/7. That is as good as samadhi. Then only one can become detached from this material world and can go back to Godhead. Otherwise, very difficult. So that is the understanding. I don't know. This is what I am understanding. I am just saying that doesn't mean that I am following it. I am far away from this kind of consciousness. So, but are we following? No, we cannot. It is not possible in this situation. 2009.
I saw you during the class.
Okay. Any questions till now? You are able to follow? Looks like heavy like Raj.
Yes, sir, Prabhuji, it's, I mean, I can follow, but somehow, like to practice this in today's age, especially for Mataji, is a little difficult.
No. See, what Nardamani is speaking from the point of view of Varnashrama system. So the rules and regulations that are to be followed by a Vanaprastha sannyasi while being Grihastha, eventually who want to become Vanaprastha sannyasi. So how can the transition take place? That is being said. They may do in practice, but for a devotee, they may go or they may not go to forest. They may take to Vanaprastha, they may not take to Vanaprastha. But one should cultivate that Vanaprastha culture. One should cultivate that sannyasi culture. For women, at least in Shastra, everything is being told, keeping the men in the focus. Because men is supposed to do, women is supposed to follow. Now, there is no distinction between men and women. Everyone has become equal. We are nowhere less than men. Like that is the situation now.
Man is not performing what he's supposed to do.
Yes. Yeah. Here Mata is saying that because men is not performing what they are supposed to do, then the woman has taken up the responsibility. So, but in any case, whether it's men or women does not matter. Both have to go back to Godhead. In the previous day and age, the man was determined to go back to Godhead. At the time of marriage, he has given the word to the wife that I will take the responsibility of taking you back to Godhead. So he will fulfill that because he is in knowledge. While he is going back to Godhead, he will take the wife also back to Godhead. That's why we see King Prithu. When Pandavas went to forest, Draupadi accompanied them. It is not that Draupadi did not stay back. They did not tell Draupadi, so we are going and may you enjoy kingly opulences. Not that. Even Draupadi never thought of staying back and enjoying the opulences. She was also determined to follow the husband. So there was a mutual understanding and mutual responsibility. They did it. Even when Prithu went to forest, he took Archi. In the case of Dhruva, we can see Dhruva went to forest. His wife did not accompany. That does not mean that the wife was enjoying at home. She is practicing austerities at home. Husband is practicing austerities at forest. So like that we should see. Whether one may be at home or one may be in the forest. This is the means of quitting this material world. This cannot be avoided. Either you follow this or you follow something else. For a devotee, be in preaching activity 24/7. Then you are as good as in forest. Though you are in the city, you are not attached to city lifestyle, city enjoyments. So you are in the forest only. But we should be like that.
There's one problem here for you. When you're associating with somebody 24/7 who's not practicing devotional studies, who's not trying to practice godliness, you tend to get influenced by it.
Obviously, association means influenced.
Exactly.
We get influenced by it.
It is a struggle. It is a huge struggle to practice.
That's why it is said the mutual cooperative activity. Yes, and today's day and age, it will not happen. Because we are in this kind of world. So what can be done? So no problem. We need to work hard. Grihasasya kriyatyago
Grihasasya priyatyago
vratatyago vatorapi
vratatyago vatorapi
tapasvino grama seva
tapasvino grama seva
bhikshor indriya lolata.
vikshorindriya yololata
Ashramapasada
ashrama pasada prete
kalvashrama vidambana
halavashrama vidambana
deva maya vimodamstan
deva maya vimodasta
upeksha tanukampaya.
upeksha tananukampaya. Translation. It is abnormal for a person living in the Grihastha ashram to give up the regulative principles, for a brahmachari not to follow the brahmachari vows, while living under the care of a guru, for a vanprastha to live in the village and engage in so-called social activities, or for a sannyasi to be addicted to sense gratification. One who acts in this way is to be considered the lowest renegade. Such a pretender is bewildered by the external energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and one should either reject him from any position or, taking compassion upon him, teach him, if possible, to resume his original position.
Now, whether one may be a brahmachari, grihastha, vanaprastha, or sannyasi, if they have chosen going back home, back to Godhead as their life's ambition, the goal of their life, then what is the most detrimental activity for them in their respective state? That is indicated in this verse. It is abominable for a householder to give up his prescribed duties. Whatever duties that are assigned by the Vedic literatures for the householder, if they don't perform, that is the biggest detrimental for the spiritual progress of a householder. Because the understanding is like that. One may think that, what do you mean by that? If we are not doing our duties today, what we are supposed to do? How can we serve the Lord when we go to spiritual world? अभी हमको जो करना चाहिए वही नहीं करेगा तो भक्ति कैसे करेंगे? भगवान को सेवा कैसे करेंगे? Here the question is, the person whom we are serving all has to be. See, that is a different case, but at least one who knew, one should have married to devotee husband only. But things are happening much later. So, but still, one should render whatever services that are to be done, which are favorable to bhakti aspect. So there one should not be compromising in that regard. So in that way, it is abominable for a householder to give up his prescribed duties, and for a brahmachari not to follow his vows. Whatever vows were there brahmachari, if they don't follow, Hare Krishna. For a vanaprastha to engage in village activities. वानप्रस्थ वन में रहना चाहिए, गांव में क्या करेंगे? गांव में कभी आना नहीं चाहिए. And for a sannyasi to be addicted to sense gratification, sannyasi is supposed to live by begging. They should not be asking, आज पनीर सब्जी दे दो, ये दे दो, ऐसा नहीं पूछने का. So like that. They are outcasts of their ashramas. If they do all these things in being in their particular ashrama, they are said to be outcast of that ashrama. If a brahmachari does not follow the vows, is no more brahmachari. If a grihastha does not follow prescribed duties, is no more grihastha. If a vanaprastha comes to city, is no more vanaprastha. If a sannyasi is interested in sense gratification, is no more sannyasi. Sannyasi should be detached. That is the understanding. One should neglect giving them mercy. since they are bewildered by Lord's Maya, one should not show compassion upon them. Such kind of people knowingly not following their respective duties, they are not worthy worthy components of receiving any compassion or mercy. They should be severely punished. So something like that. Lolata means greed, laulyam. One should neglect them concerning compassion. Such kind of people, when they make mistake, one should not say, no, chhod do abhi rahne do, kya bechare kuch kiya. Nahin, not like that. Because they have done knowingly. Which verse we are reading? I got it. It is gone to 28. Yes. One should neglect them concerning compassion. This means that when they die, one does not give them teachings on the truth out of mercy, since such teachings will be useless to them. No, see, you have knowingly entered into a particular ashram, you know what is supposed to be done, but if you don't do it, but you are knowingly you are not following. Even if somebody else come and try to correct, you will not correct.
If we know that somebody has not practiced throughout his life, his or her life, but towards the end of his or her life, if we are close to that person, then we do try to, at least if nothing else.
No. That is from the preaching point of view. Preaching is given to the innocent, that is applicable for everyone at every level. Here, especially from the Varnashma point of view, like for example, sannyasi. Why he has taken sannyasi? With the intention to go back to Godhead or attain liberation. But in spite of taking to sannyasa with complete knowledge, again comes back to old life. Such a person, even if you teach or don't teach, it does not make any difference for him. So like that. That is understanding. That means point is not saying that there is no point in teaching such a person. Anyway, because knowingly given up and knowingly given up the world and knowingly given up sannyas order. So what aapka kahenge unko? So like that. It should be self. That person alone need to understand that he has made a mistake. He need to correct himself and go on the same path. So something like that.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji.
Can you go to previous slide? Like, yeah, here they are saying that, this means that when they die, one does not give them teaching on the truth out of mercy, since such teachings will be useless to them. So I didn't quite understand this. When they die means at the time of death, somebody gives teachings.
No. Here die means not death. You are in a particular ashrama. You know what is supposed to be done. When you are not doing, you are dead already.
Oh, that way means if somebody is not doing that, then he's considered dead. Then that person should not be given the teachings on the truth out of mercy. That's what.
Because he willingly dying, then what truth you want, what instructions you will give?
Exactly. Vidura gave knowledge to Dhritarashtra. Dhritarashtra knew the Dharma. He was so attached. But when
here Mata is saying something, I'll repeat.
Yeah, but when Vidura gave you understand that only you is rubbish, supposed to renounce. Get out of the practice.
But here Mata is saying that Vidura came back and strongly spoke to Dhritarashtra. But Dhritarashtra never taken to sannyas. He was in the Grahastha order only. In the Grahastha order only was making mistake. So of course, in external point of view, he is as good dead. Normally, Nardamuni is saying that when such a person knowingly does not follow, there is less chance of getting corrected. But in the case of Dhritarashtra, he got corrected because the person who is telling is a Vidura, strong person. So in that, even for example, Nardamuni also he preached very strongly to Prachana Bari. Normally, if it was somebody else, Prachana Bari must not have changed. But because it was Narada Muni, he got changed. This is a general rule. There could be some exceptions like that. But if some of us will go and tell them, will he change?
Yeah.
So like.
Sorry.
Yes, Mataji.
Prabhuji, like what has been mentioned here is if a person, householder means those who are in the Grihastha order, if they are not following the prescribed duties. So when we are talking about Prachin Barhi and Dhritarashtra, like means whether they were not following the prescribed duties of Grihastha, they were
No. Here
reason
again,
for
so don't stop there. Following the prescribed duties, keeping in mind, going back to guarded attain liberation, the goal of life. Dhritarashtra, I don't think so he ever had this thought in mind. कभी उनका मन में था जीवन का लक्ष्य लिबरेशन के लिए नहीं था. उनका जीवन लक्ष्य था राज सिंहासन बैठने का. उसके लिए जो करना चाहिए कर रहे. But for a person who already made up his mind that my life is meant for attain liberation, after that makes mistake. Knowingly. That is the point we are discussing here. Not a normal grasta who is only interested in dharmartha kama. We are not talking about that person. He is following dharmartha kama with intention to attain moksha. Then if he does not follow dharmartha kama properly, that person should be considered as good as dead. And such a person, even if you instruct, it may not be much useful. There may be some exceptions, but in general, it may not be useful.
Okay, but then in case of Dhritarashtra, Prabhuji, like he had not made up his mind for the moksha till the time Vidura came. After Vidura came, then he had the goal. It means he set the goal.
Yes. At least now, at least at this point of time, he does not have much attachment to the material world. उनका पुत्र भी 35 साल से रो रहे अभी जो भी अटैचमेंट था वो निकल गया होगा 35 साल में. Now we are a suitable breeding ground for thinking about liberation.
Yeah, so Vidura actually came to give him that goal at that stage of his life.
Yes.
And Prabhuji, like I have one more question that in the beginning we discussed that Grihasthas, when they accept the Vanaprastha, they should live by begging so that the mind can be controlled. Like that we discussed now.
No, not Vanaprastha. Sannyasi should be live by begging. Vanaprastha lives only in the forest eating the fruits and roots. We discussed elaborately about Vanaprastha, how they should live. Sannyasi lives by begging, not Vanaprastha.
Okay, I thought it is mentioned for Vanaprastha when the Grihasthas live and go to forest for Vanaprastha.
Bhagavatam does not say Vanaprastha. After giving up home, that means after taking to sannyasa, they should live by begging.
Okay.
Ultimately, Vanaprastha also supposed to become sannyasi one day. So they should live by begging.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Because
but actually, Prabhuji, like means in today's day and age, even the sannyasis, we don't see, like at least ex-con sannyasis, we don't see they following all these kind of things.
How many sannyasis did you see in the Vanaprastha order? No, not Vanaprastha, the Varnashrama order. Those who became sannyasi, like following traditional Varnashrama, how many of them we are seeing? Our sannyasis are avatar.
Yeah, we don't know, no, Prabhuji. We know whatever we see around us, that much.
But see, we are in a preaching movement. Our intention is about preaching. So the preaching is given high regard. Other things are like kind of given allowance. So that way, see, for now we are trying to understand what kind of system is supposed to be followed as per Shastra, which is being followed in the past. This kind of system is being followed. Even now also, if you see in the other sampradayas, they follow all these rules and very strictly. Even Madhvas, if you see Madhva sannyasis are there, na? They never eat opulent prasadam. They always eat very minimal, bare minimum prasadam just to maintain the body and soul together. Jains also. Jains are very strict followers of austerities. Sri Vaishnava sannyasis also, I don't think so. They eat so much. They see, when we say live by begging, in the past, they used to beg. In the present, begging means every day some devotee will invite them for prasadam. That's all they will go. and they will eat. At least now, when we visit some devotees' home, they will feed us opulent prasadam. But even during the time of Ramanacharya, he would not take so much. Even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also would not like to eat so much big. But devotees like Advaitacharya and Sarvabhaumacharya, they used to feed a lot. But not that every devotee used to feed a lot. Other devotees, whenever they invite Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, whatever was the strict rule, that is being followed. Some of the close associates of Mahaprabhu only, who knew Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to be Supreme Lord, they would feed him like the way they feed Jagannath, Lord Jagannath. But that is not the case with every devotee who invited him for prasad. Being a sannyasi, he would only take one meal a day, and that one meal also Jagannath Mahaprasad, that too very small quantity. Some rice, some sack sabji, and some Jagannath Mahaprasad. That much only he would honor on normal days. Being a sannyasi.
Understood. Yeah.
Even, actually, that should be the custom. Even the brahmachari ashram, whether brahmachari or sannyasi who are living in the temple, normally they are supposed to eat bare minimum prasadam, which is required to keep the body and soul together. There may be, on the festival days, there may be some special prasadam and all. But we are in a preaching movement. We say, we are preaching karo, but prasadam kalo chalega. There is some allowance is given, but actually it is not. It is not allowed for long run. That's why, because we eat so much opulent prasadam here and there, and we fall sick also. Similarly. Whoever sponsors their prasadam, whoever prepares their prasadam, their consciousness and their karma will come along with the prasadam, and it will come to the person who is accepting it, and they will get affected by that. Subtly, grossly, every way. That's why we see most of the brahmacharis and sannyasis fall sick.
But Prabhuji, then like how we practically implement this thing, because in practice we see like so many devotees, they will have some function at their home, they will call the devotees. So if we take prasadam, like their karmas will come to us. So how to avoid that?
No, if everyone is a devotee, if they are already determined to go back home, that karma only, that desire only will come to others also. If the host has a desire to go back home back to Godhead, if the guest also has a desire to go back home, that will transmit here and there. But in general, when I'm saying the temple we get charity from different people. All people will give charity.
Right.
So in that temple.
Those karmis who donate like that prasadam.
Yes.
So Prabhuji, how to avoid such things? That means we should not go to the temple and eat prasadam?
No, see, it is not like that. But though we should not accept it as the object of enjoyment. We should accept as much as we can digest. Not only food, karma also. That means the eating is meant to sustain our life, to retain the body and soul together. That much we accept. We should not eat like, feast is there, eat till the neck, not like that. That may be encouraged in the initial days. As we progress in the path of bhakti, slowly, we should become detached to the opulence of this world. Even though it may be prasad, it may be mahaprasad, one should be careful not to indulge in it. One should honor.
Okay.
That is the point. Like a vanaprastha who has gone to vana, what kind of food is he eating? He's eating some the fruits which fell down from the tree. He should not even pluck from the tree also. We read it. Whichever fruit fell down, that should eat. So that means very bare minimum food only might be eating. So even we on the path of bhakti, at least those who are in the full determination mood, they should reduce as much as possible the intake. Not only from prasadam point of view, in every aspect. Because we have been adapted to city lifestyle. So we need all those things, without which we very difficult for us to survive. So I may be speaking, but when I'm in Mandi, we will use hot water only. Even any other place, the water is so cold. It is like ice cold. You can't, there is no other option than taking hot water. In a place like Mumbai and all, at least other than 4 months winter period, rest of the time we use normal water only, room temperature well water directly, so without any issue. But places like, I mean, even so that's why the 10th canto onwards comes now. Even though they may take, but they should be regretful about that. They should not be eagerly enjoying it. While accepting it, one should be feeling that I am sorry, I'm not supposed to accept it because I'm accepting it because my healthy condition is not good. One should be accepting it in a regretful way.
That is sufficient, Prabhuji, to avoid the bad karma from the food. Just that attitude.
See, accepting little as much as possible only as less is enough for one to maintain oneself, and one should not be accepting it out of enjoyment. One should be accepting as if honoring that the host has prepared so hardworkingly. So just for the satisfaction of the host, we should accept something like that, not for our enjoyment. So that should be the mood.
Okay. Okay.
But however, all these rules are very strictly followed in the culture of Varnashram system. When it comes to devotees, the devotees always celebrating. Yes, even though one may be a pure devotee, if one eats too much rabdi, one will have indigestion. We cannot say that if a pure devotee, he can eat rabdi as much as he want, he can eat halwa as much as he want, he can eat hundreds of gulab jamun. Not possible. No one can digest. So one should celebrate the festival, but not in the mood of enjoyment, but in the mood of service. As we progress years, at least, if we cannot say that the state of bhakti, but at least the number of years we are spending in the bhakti path more and more, we should slowly learn to follow like this. It is very difficult, but we should follow, and we should set the example for others. So like that.
Yes, Prabhuji. There was a story in, I think it was, I had heard it in a class, that one sadhu, he was bathing at he was performing his bhajan at at the Govind Kund, and some gopis or matajis were bathing. So he just happened to glance there, and then he suddenly felt embarrassed because this had not happened in so many years of his service, of his bhajan. And he became very disturbed, and he spoke to his disciples that this has never happened, that I glanced at the ladies there bathing. And what is the reason, I want to know, because we ate at the at the temple bhandara. So his disciples found out that a prostitute had sponsored the bhandara that day. So the sadhu became very regretful because the food was sponsored by the prostitute. But Prabhuji, I had this, now a sadhu would not honor the prasad very heartily. They just go to honor prasad at the temple bhandara. So that much, even that can contaminate a consciousness of a sadhu. Somebody is sponsoring the bhandara. Now the bhandara is sponsored, so it is offered to the Lord. Still, it has the potency to affect a sadhu.
Yes, it all depends at what level one is, and obviously, see whether it is offered to the Lord, Bandara, etc. It depends on the different people who are contributing to it. It may be sponsorer, it may be preparer, it may be offerer, it may be server. All these people contribute through their service. So that is true.
Okay.
That is true.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, I had read in, I think one of the magazines which comes, it was written, Prabhuji, like same thing what Mataji was saying, that somebody had sponsored the prasad, and the guru didn't have much problem, but his disciples, they experienced the turbulence, what this sadhu explained.
Yes.
So they went and asked the Guru Maharaj that we all ate same prasad. And same thing it had sponsored by some prostitute or somebody like that, Karmi or something. So then Guru said that I have the capacity to nullify whatever comes through that. And that is why I'm not affected. But you don't have that capacity, and that is why you are getting affected. So I just wanted to share this.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It depends on what one consciousness one is. One should be able to digest it. If one cannot digest it, one will become sick.
Yeah.
Sick means not the physical sickness, the mental sickness also. The karmic reaction will get affected. That's why even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also, whenever he would travel, either Balabhadra Bhattacharya, whoever accompanying Mahaprabhu, he would only cook. He would collect the grains from the people, that too from a Brahmana. He would cook and he would feed Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Or if Mahaprabhu knew that somebody is a devotee and practicing bhakti very seriously, then Mahaprabhu would request him to cook. Like there is one Kayastha in Madura. Mahaprabhu went there and he was dancing. One devotee was also dancing. So then he learned that this person is a disciple of Madhavendra Puri. Then Mahaprabhu told him to cook, even though he is not a Brahmana. Since you are a devout disciple of Madhavendra Puri, you please cook. Even South India tour also, we see one Brahmana in Madura who was thinking about Mother Sita and Lakshmana. So Mahaprabhu asked him to cook and feed him. Even Venkata Bhatta, when Mahaprabhu stayed in the house of Venkata Bhatta for 4 months, Venkata Bhatta only cooked for Mahaprabhu. So like that.
Yes, Prabhuji, and that is why Raghunath Das Goswami stopped inviting Chaitanya Mahaprabhu for meals. Because the Lakshmi he was using to buy the food and cook it was...
Father's Lakshmi. His father's Lakshmi.
Yes, yes.
Initially, first few weeks, Mahaprabhu ate just to encourage Raghunath Das Goswami, because just after so much hard struggle, he came to Puri to be with Mahaprabhu. And he was inviting Mahaprabhu, and if Mahaprabhu does not come from the very day one, then what would Raghunath Das Goswami will think? Just to encourage him, Mahaprabhu would come. But when Raghunath Goswami realized, then Mahaprabhu felt very happy.
Yes.
So like that. Then even Raghunath Das Goswami started begging at the doorways of the Jagannath temple.
Yes.
Initially he became happy, Mahaprabhu. But later on Mahaprabhu did not like that. When again he stopped that, he started eating only the food that was thrown to cows. Then Mahaprabhu became very happy. He became more renounced. So like that. For a Bombay person to understand all this is very difficult. And not understand to follow is very difficult.
Prabhuji, it is very difficult for common people to understand this. It is not just Bombay, anywhere.
Because this used to be like that. Because in the Bhagavatam, we see mostly kingly duties. Kings are all, at least they have gone to Vanaprastha order only. Vanaprastha order, they go and they perform tapasya. That much we hear. But if Brahmana taking to sannyas and leading a life, there was not much discussion about it in the Bhagavatam. Maybe one or two. Seventh canto in the previous chapter we saw that Avadhuta Brahmana who was behaving like a python. So like that. So yes, what can be done? Because ultimately one point where I am trying to close this point, our attachment to material world is so strong. उसको काटना बहुत मुश्किल है. इसलिए this kind of strong rules are mentioned. Say one thing, for a householder who led a respectable status quo, that a person taking onto sannyasa and begging, how much difficult it must be. That's how we get detached from this world. That's how we get detached from the name, fame, opulences, attachments of this world. Then only one can give up this world and go back to Godhead. At least from the point of view of liberation. Either one follows rules and regulations and works very hard to get detached, or from Bhakti point of view, one becomes so attached to Supreme Lord, one does not look backward. What we are discussing in the Bhagavatam is from the Varnashram system point of view, they have to work hard to get detached from this world. But from Bhakti point of view, we need to work hard to get attached to Supreme Lord. Bhakti is not a process of detachment. Bhakti is a process of attachment. The regular Varna system is a process of detachment. There they have to work hard to get detached. Here we have to work hard to get attached to Krishna. There they externally practice. Here we have to practice internally. We have to give up enjoyment. We should provide everything for Krishna's enjoyment, but we should not enjoy. It is very difficult actually. There, anyway, they are staying in the forest, they don't get anything. Anyway, they are begging. The begging person has no choice. Whatever is given, he should take that. But for a devotee who is in the temple, Lord Krishna is served Chappan Bhog. But the devotee should eat rice dal. Will that be possible? So, for a devotee, we need to work double. Just by being devotee, we don't have any license that I can enjoy. What is that? Rajbhog Mahaprasad or Chappan Bhog Mahaprasad or Giriraj Mahaprasad. Yes, we should take Mahaprasad. There is no, it is not denied. But we should honor Mahaprasad only as much as required to keep the body and soul together, not until neck. I am saying, but I'm just repeating the words like a bird without any understanding. Very difficult to follow.
I just want to share this regarding this Chappan Bhog or in temple or wherever, like we devotees come across so much prasadna. Like I don't remember the name of the devotee. It was there in that Gopalji publication magazines. Those comes in that one of the devotee of the Lord, like at that time of Yudhishthira's Rajasuya Yajna. There was some arrangement like that when if the yajna is done properly, the shankha will conch will blow like that. So it was not happening, and they were not understanding why it is not happening. Why it is not happening like that. Then they found out that one of the devotee of the Lord was not respected properly. So then he was called, and Draupadi said that I will cook myself for this person. And she cooked Chappan Bhog, so many varieties, and herself she cooked like that. And he was served. And then what that person means, what that devotee did is he mixed all the atoms together and made into one khichdi kind of a thing, sweet, sour, chutney, everything. And then he started eating like that. So Draupadi had in the mind, means that devotee was from Shudra caste or something like that. So Draupadi had in her mind, she felt that oh, these persons, they don't have any etiquette how to eat and things like that. I have made it with so much labor, but he is how he is eating like that. And he was fed and still conch didn't blew. So then everyone was again, now what happened, like that. And they asked Krishna. So Krishna asked whether anybody had any ill feeling for that devotee. So Draupadi admitted that yes, I had this feeling in the mind. So then he was called again and asked whether you like the fish, why did you eat like this? So that time he said that whatever was prepared was for the Lord's pleasure, and Lord enjoyed it. So I'm not supposed to enjoy the prasad. I'm just supposed to honor the prasad. So why I need to eat everything separately? That is why I mixed everything and eat. So that is the concept. It's like Swapacha Brahmana. Yeah, Swapacha.
He was, I think he was Valmiki Rishi, who was Yamaraj, who was cursed by Mandavya Rishi. Not the Ramayana Valmiki.
It is written Swapacha Brahmana. Like
Yeah, so
Okay.
this is a story about Mandavya Rishi who cursed Yamraj.
Mhm.
He
Okay.
was wrongly implicated and then punished with terminal punishment. And he went to Yamraj and asked him, by his yogic powers, he was able to avoid that punishment. So the king came and apologized to Mandavya Rishi. So Mandavya Rishi forgave the king, but he went to Yamraj and he said, "Why was I given this capital punishment? I have not done. I have not stolen anything. I was wrongly implicated." So Yamraj said that this is because when you were 4 years old or 3 years old, you had killed some insect or some small living entity, bird or some insect. So Mandavya Rishi said that no, a small child does not get the karma for doing something wrong. His parents get it until the child is 8 or 10 years old. I don't remember how old. Until the child is 10 years old or something, the
Some
child
say 8
does
years,
not.
some say 14 years.
He doesn't incur karma. And Mandavya
Mm.
Rishi curses Yamraj that you will have to take 3 births. So he came
Mm.
as Yamraj came as Yudhishthir Maharaj, Vidur, and this Valmiki Rishi who was born as a Shudra.
Okay, okay, okay. Fine, fine, no problem. Mm. So, but
Prabhuji,
anyway,
Even Bhakti
uh,
Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur used to eat like this. Just mix everything together and
yes.
eat.
He used to tell that the whatever bhoga offered to the deity, that everything should be mixed and little bit should be given to each and every devotee. Otherwise, some of the brahmacharis in the temple they would say that, get me this item, get me that item, like that. So he used to tell that everything should be mixed and given to everyone little bit.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, apart from this topic, now I had one question from the last time that we will discuss last time at length about the Shraddha rites to be performed by the Grihasthas and things like that. So, like, I have this, like, Shraddha needs to be performed for only those souls who were in the human body, Prabhuji, because the rest of the 84 lakh species minus one, they are dying every now and then, and nobody is performing any Shraddha rites or anything for them. So, where they are going, and means only
See,
for this is like.
wait. Your question itself is wrong. Couple of chapters back, in the previous chapter, what are the duties of a grahastha? Like from the
Performing
Shastra
those
view,
panchayajna and things like that.
what are the five yajnas?
Pitruyajna, Nruyajna, and Devayajna, and
Ah, and then what? And then what? Four. You tell five. Adadane.
I don't remember, sorry.
Ah, if you remember that, you will not get this doubt. Rishi Yajna. By performing Rishi Yajna, you are taking care of the Rishis. Deva Yajna. By performing Deva Yajna, you are taking care of all the different variety of devatas. It may be Adityas, Marus, Agni Devatas, Vasus, Gandharvas, Kinnaras, Kimpurushas, all the devatas are taken care. ऋषि यज्ञ हो गया, देव यज्ञ हो गया, then bhuta yajna and nru yajna. Nru yajna will take care of the all the human beings other than your family members. Bhuta yajna will take care of all the other living entities other than human beings. और कौन बचा है?
Pitru Yajna.
No, your family members, relatives.
Okay.
मतलब
वो नृयज्ञ में ही आ जाएंगे ना.
Nru yajna is about all the human beings other than your family members.
Oh.
Nru means in general human beings. And remained people remained are your family members. So in the family members who are all there, some of them are elder to us, some of them are equal to us, some of them are younger to us. So now one by one we'll deal. For younger people, like children, what all will be done by the parents? What parents will do for the children?
Everything almost.
No.
Like rearing them up. And,
They perform the 16 samskaras.
okay.
not 16, 15 samskaras. Starting from Garbhadana all the way up to Vivaha samskara, the parents will do for children. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes, Prabhuji.
For equals, what they will do? Equals means what the husband will do for wife, what wife will do for husband.
The duties mentioned in the Grihastha-ashrama for wife. Like,
Help each other in executing the duty.
yeah.
Both share the results. If even husband does or wife does, the results will be shared equally, 50-50. That is the agreement of marriage. और बचा हुआ पेरेंट्स के लिए क्या करेंगे? Out of 16 samskaras, 15 will be done by the parents to children, and only one samskara the children supposed to do for the parents. That is Shraddha rites. Abhi they have done 15 to us, can't we do one for them?
Shraddha rite is considered as samskara, Prabhuji, because Antim samskara, that is the 16th samskara. Na? So,
Samskara only na, ante samskara, one of the 16 samskaras.
okay. So the afterwards, whatever shraddhas are performed, that also are considered as samskara.
That is also samskara only. Like that only we should treat. We should treat like that. It is samskara only. It is annual samskara.
Okay.
Samskara is nothing but dharma of the grahastha. That is the principal dharma that grahastha is supposed to do for his near
I
and near.
understand your explanation. What you are saying that we should perform that one samskara for the parents. The point is not that, Prabhuji. My point is like, okay, currently we are in human body. We are doing whatever we are supposed to do. And because of that, the many people will be benefited. Our pitrus will get benefited. The other bhutas, bhut means other living entities will get benefited. But suppose somebody is in the lion's body now, he dies, nobody is going to perform anything for him, so he will be benefited by the bhuta yajna done by those who are in the human body.
Wait,
Is that the better?
why are you thinking about them? उनको जरूरत नहीं, जिनको जरूरत नहीं उनके लिए छोड़ो ना.
हाँ, तो वही
The
मुझे कहना है प्रभु जी कि मतलब बाकी जीवों को कैसे जरूरत नहीं होती और those who leave the human body उनको ही क्यों जरूरत होती है? That is my point.
This question is irrelevant. Now question is, after death, where the human being will go? Normal, generally.
According to his karma, whatever his destination is, like.
No. The human being will go to Yamaraj. The remaining living entities, just by karma, they will enter to the next species immediately. But human being will go to Yamaraj, and Yamaraj will tell, बेटा आपने इतना इतना पुण्य किया, इतना इतना पाप किया, आपको क्या चाहिए? Only human being is given the chance. No other species.
What?
They are simply evolving through the karmic cycle. But human being have the chance to select where I want to go, what I want to do. That's why the human being is a highly responsible person. He should do all these things for other human being.
Okay, so that decision, when Yamaraj gives choice to them, that decision, whatever is being taken by that particular soul, will
I mean,
be
your
reflected.
question, wait. अभी कोई भी जब वो आदमी था, उनका बेटा अभी श्राद्ध राइट परफॉर्म कर रहे हैं, मतलब वो एनिमल का भी श्राद्ध परफॉर्म कर रहे हैं अभी. When we do Shraddha in the name of our father, we are not only doing for our father, we are doing for our entire ancestry. Because we don't remember, it is being done for the 3 generations. At least 3 generations, naam to yaad hai. So it is being done for everyone. For example, every day morning we are doing Guru Puja for Srila Prabhupada. It is not just done for Srila Prabhupada. It is done for the entire Guru Varga. See, I mean, you might be thinking about out of compassion, क्या होगा उनका छोड़ दो. पहले हमारा सोचो, हमको क्या करना चाहिए, क्या करेंगे. उनके लिए छोड़.
Why I was feeling is that why human species only when they leave body they require so much Shraddha and this thing, so many species they are
Not
dying
so
and nobody is performing anything for them. Then why this difference is there? That's what
परफॉर्म कर रहे हैं ना अभी वो उनका फैमिली वाला कोई भी अभी जो भी परफॉर्म कर रहे हैं उनको भी परफॉर्म हो रहा है उनको भी हो रहा है
okay. Okay, so no, I understood your point that those for the other species, they just because they don't have even karma account, they just enter the another species as per whatever the clock is set for this like that. No? So yeah, okay, okay, understood, Prabhuji. Quite difficult chapter to understand and digest. Like
को छोड़ देते पहले हमको जो करना चाहिए घर पे वो करेंगे पहले उनको छोड़ दो
okay,
so fine we'll stop here बहुत time हो गया thank you very much sorry for the inconvenience today I have taken my laptop was given to repair so I could not use it so thank you very much we'll stop here and we'll continue next week हरे कृष्ण ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय अनंत कोटि वैष्णव भक्तवृंद की जय हरे कृष्ण
thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Dandavat pranam.
हरे कृष्ण now I don't know how to stop this ये तो नो इंटरनेट दिखा रहा है इसको मीटिंग तो एंड करना पड़ेगा ना मीटिंग एंड होगा नहीं वो तो गायब हो गया फिर भी स्लाइड्स सबको मिल रहा था पता नहीं कैसे मिल रहा था नो नो दे आर एबल टू सी ऑनलाइन ना ऑनलाइन पीपल आर एबल टू सी तो कुछ गड़बड़ हो गया इसमें हाँ आई ओपनड द पीडीएफ स्क्रीन शेयर ये चला गया recording has started how to stop the recording mute chat okay tap to return to Durga Das Prabhu हाँ stop recording stop हो गया stop recording and transcription yes leave end meeting for all